Well, yeah, not all. And yes, now it's here, and this one here. Let's see how it's working. It's working. It looks like it's working. Sorry. Sorry. I just feel the not right smell of smoke. Sorry. Well, hope it's not my computer. Um, yeah, yeah. Yesterday at night, there was a little fire on our street. It's not some flat or house. It was garbage bin. It was fired, and uh, firefighters came and. I'm really not sure what it could be. Strange. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Today we're gonna continue the reading. I want to continue the reading of this book. It's a book about level design. It's very interesting, organized, very well actually organized. On this website, in the last time we no last time we read only the beginning, how all we learned whole stage of level design, level production. It's level producing, I think, even. Yeah, and now we will continue this reading, and we'll go to more and we will be more focused on some particular parts of this process. So yeah. How to make a level. Oh yeah, this one we read too. Oh, sorry. Pre-production. Yeah, let's go to read about pre-production, and we'll see how much we could read in one time. Because in the last time we read not so much as I wanted. Okay, pre-production. How to plan a game level with mechanics, experience, goals, and pillars. Okay, what pillars is in this context? I know the pillow. I'm not sure what it can be. Not could be. I should use can more often. Pillar: a large round stone, metal, or wooden post that is used to support a bridge, the roof, or a building. Okay, it's kinda large round state, pillar of something, a mass of something that is like a pillar in shape, a strong supporter of something. Okay. Person who has a lot of particular quality. Person who has a lot of she's a pillar of strange and increases. Okay. A basic part of feature of a system organization beliefs. Okay, I see. I can't actually remember the right translation in Russian, but yeah, I understand what it means. Like a fundament in Russian. I think it's a base part. No, but it's not fundament. Yeah. Okay, I got it. Yeah. What is pre-production? Plans are of little importance, but planning is essential. Plans are of little importance, but playing is essential. Yeah, it's okay. Pre-production is the early phase of a project where you generate ideas and try to figure out what the project is about. It's about answering big design questions. What are you making? What will the player be able to do? Mechanics, experience goals, pacing. Well, mechanics. It's interesting, yeah, kinda. I suppose that you should know at least the, you know, at least some kind of list of mechanics before you start to produce some level. Maybe not, it could be parallel. You could develop, for example, levels and some mechanics in one time, but I think that it is important to know which mechanics could be used, in general in game, yeah, before you start the level, and what will the player be able to do? It's question much, not, it's kind of, it shouldn't be asked, from a viewpoint of level makers. Yeah, it should be. It should be asked from a level maker, but he shouldn't think about that. Yeah, he should, get this information from outside. Yeah, it could be one person, of course, but I think if we speak about process, yeah. Level maker should have list of mechanics, experience goals, pacing as the input, not as something that he generate in the process. Which parts are most important? Pillars. How to spell it? Actually, let's check it.
Pillar.
Pillar. Okay, pillar. Not R, pillar. Okay, I hope that my voice become a little bit better. I understand that you still hear an echo. Actually, I hear this echo myself. It really exists. Yeah, maybe eventually I will do something with that, but it's something that I can't fix with the mic or my voice. It's and I hope it not so terrible, but at least I hope there was a really issue about that some words or sounds is just how it's fades too much, has been faded in the previous streams. So I hope this one should be better. Okay, how are we going to make this? How did other people solve similar problems? Research, yeah, right. How much time do you need? Yeah, about research, it's research and references. You should know some references. It's easier to explain what you want to gain, yeah, when you use some references. It's much easier, and sometimes it's enough, for explanation. How much time do you need? Is this feasible? Scope. Okay, I know I got it, what it means all, but feasible. I hope it's pronounced like this.
Feasible.
Feasible. Adjective that is possible and likely to be achieved. Okay, is it feasible? Wow. Nice work. Your answers to these questions will change throughout the project, and that's okay. Will change throughout the project, and that's okay. Planning is useful, but it's not magic. You won't completely understand what you're making until you start making it. Well, yeah. Project planning. Planning a level can take many forms. Some people build small prototypes and test levels before committing to a concept, or you can write out design goals and constraints. Constraint. Well, a thing that limits something or limits your freedom to do something. Okay, constraints. It's like a bones, but it's a good word. Yeah, it sounds more abstract than bones. You can write our design goals and constraints. To collaborate as a team, you must make plans and communicate those plans. Otherwise, you will frustrate each other and the project will likely fail. I try to make stress in every word, and in be patient about this. But for a small solo hobby project, planning is less important. Make a simple basic plan, and then enjoy the thrill of improvisation and discovery. Discovery. Okay, I want to hear this one. I know what it means. I just want to, check pronunciation.
Discovery.
Okay, but for a small solo project, planning is less important. Make a simple basic plan and then enjoy the thrill of improvisation and discovery. Improvisation should be a couple of stressed syllables here, right?
Improvisation.
Okay, that's as an I. Improvisation. Okay, improvisation and discovery. Minimal checklist. If you can answer these very basic questions, that's enough to start a quick solo jam project. These questions, not these questions. Okay. Elevator pitch. In 1-3 sentences, describe the project concept and what makes it interesting. It's interesting because, it looks like not a recommendation about level design, it looks like a recommendation about eternal game. So yeah. Tools. What engine and tool will you use? Will they work for this project? What questions do you have about functionality and scope? How long will it be? How many levels? Are these big or small levels? What does a big level mean? These are basic questions about scope, the size and workload for a project. Yes. It's kind of more about, it's really about project as some level collection, yeah, or some kind of. Okay, recommended checklist, but really you should be able to answer these other basic questions about the design. Pillars. What are the three most important themes, features of this project? Experience goals. How should the player react throughout each level? What type of emotion or behavior? Yes, it really looks like, you know, how to write game design document. Yeah, design document actually. Mechanics. What are the frequent activities, interactions, skills the player will use? Asset list. What kind of models, textures, and sounds will you need for each level? Have you acquired these assets yet, or is someone going to make them? Yeah, actually, it's something that I really missed in my design document, actually. Okay, full checklist. I missed about. I still not write about. Not write it about sounds and music, and I still not write it about, well, some kind of scope. It's very important, and I think I will fix it soon in my design document, which I'm writing right now. I mean, full checklist. If you are free plus plus, how to speak plus? I'm not sure how to spell it right.
Plus.
Plus. 3+ people, or it's a 3+ months project, then more detailed planning will help you a lot. First one, pacing. What happens in each level? Why? How do the levels fit together? Research. What are the inspirations, reference points for these levels? Does the group have a shared understanding and interpretation? How is this project is in conversation with large culture and industry? How is this project in conversation with the large culture and industry? Oh, it's a very interesting actually question, you know. Like, what's okay, it's interesting question. Oh, again, started this stream too late. Okay. World building. What is the larger world, fictional universe of these levels? Who builds these places? What logic, mood guided, what mood guided the construction and use? Guided. Again, I know it's kind of lead or, well, manage. So, but I want to guide it. Guided, yeah. Mood guided the construction and use. That is led by somebody who works as a guide. Okay. Scope. Every week that will you work on and when? What features, levels are nice to have that can be cut from final release? Planning scope can get so complicated that commercial studios hire one or more producers, people whose main job is to oversee scope. Okay, yeah, it's kind of project managers. Could be, or well, producers, yeah, who decide who has a right to you know, reduce or even delay some part of the game which you, well, can't do in time, or you can't do it properly. Yeah. In the video below, industry level designer Steve Lee designs a level and talks about his process. But before drawing and layout or opening the level editor tool, he first opens a text window and writes an outline for what should happen in the level. This is the core of pre-production planning. Write down the main ideas and then talk about it. Yes, it's very important for any project, not only for levels. Okay, going further. Mechanics. A game mechanic is an activity, system, or tactic repeated in your game. Basically, any action a player routinely performs or uses. Core mechanics are the most basic, frequent, and fundamental. Let's check this word.
Fundamental.
Fundamental actions, systems of a game, while less frequent activities can be called secondary mechanics. Well, I hope it's understandable. I have a slide about core mechanic. Yeah, I know. Actually, I know. Compare layout for level planning with my design document, which actually internal game planning, but it just I think it's I think it's coherent well. I mean, now it's almost the same steps described in this book. Some examples of how we talk about game mechanics. Super Mario 64's gameplay consists of core mechanics like running and jumping on platforms to reach the exit. Some Mario 64 levels support secondary mechanics like wall kicks with secret shortcuts. I never played actually. I never played in any Mario. I had not any game consoles in my childhood. Thief. The Dark Project is a stealth game about avoiding direct confrontation, and features core mechanics where loud, fast footsteps attack guards. I never played in Thief also, but I seen I seen the original Thief in videos. I mean, how to play, how gameplay there, looking there, and looked there. Well, you got the idea. And of them, and I saw the the last Thief. I don't remember how which one is the Dark Project. Okay, the stealth game about avoiding direct confrontation, and features a core mechanic where loud fast footsteps attract guards. In contrast to Mario and Doom, Thief discourages fast movement, and running is a secondary mechanic. Mario 64, Doom, and Thief are all similar. They are 3D action games about reaching the exit without dying. However, these games also have very different rules and game mechanics, which requires very different approach to level design. Mario-style platforming would likely make for an impossible Doom level, and Doom-style hordes of monsters would make for a brutally unfair Thief level. Yeah, it's I even don't know how to comment on it. I mean, yes. Okay. Do not design for the genre. Do not design for the genre. Do not sleepwalk into familiar patterns and conventions. Instead, design for the actual games that exist. Get a feel for the game. If you are modding a pre-existing game, play that game for at least a couple hours, including other community modders work. Watch YouTube footage of gameplay and pay attention to how other players combine various mechanics and game systems. Well, that's actually cool. It's the first book, I think, which pay so many attention to modder community. Wow, it's very important. Yeah. What if you haven't finalized mechanics yet? Yes, it's more it's more usual moment. It's more often when you actually for level designers, I think, when you don't know how it will be ended, or I mean which mechanics you will have in this level. It's hard to build levels without knowing the mechanics. Both mechanics and levels depend on each other. One cannot exist without the other. You can't evaluate a mechanic without testing in a level. Okay, I want to check evaluate. I'm pretty sure that I should pronounce it like evaluate, but
Evaluate.
Evaluate. No, I was wrong. You can't evaluate a mechanic without testing in a level, but you also can't quite evaluate a level without finalized mechanics. If you change your mechanics, then you will end up with a lot of wasted work and obsolete levels that relied on discarded mechanics. But if you don't build enough test levels to measure the mechanics potential, then you might end up with a dude mechanic. It's like a wasted mechanic, or I mean unnecessary mechanic, but I never met this word before.
Dud.
Dud. A thing that has no use, especially, yeah, dud. It's like a dummy. Or some, well, not dummy, but okay, I got it. That mechanic that isn't interesting enough beyond the first level. Throughout your game's development, you will likely have to throw away or redo your levels. You might even have to remake a level multiple times. It's okay. Do not think of this as a wasted time of work. Instead, think of each discarded version as valuable research. This is why we call it game development. Development is a gradual process that takes time. It will take time to figure out what makes for a good level and a good game. Okay. It's interesting. Yeah. It's even might be it's a good point. I mean, you really don't want to make a wasted work, and you should form some kind of delays to this work. I mean, to some, for example, levels in this case. Yeah, you should relate to some content which you will not put in your game. Yeah, you still have to make it. And yeah, it's kind of you should be ready to, well, just leave it. So. Oh, sorry. In some moment. And for this, you should, have some reasons for that. For example, you may relate to this content as to research. Why not? Build test maps. As part of the planning process, game designers often build simple playground blockout style test maps. These bare bones level are intended for internal developer use only and usually do not ship in the final public release. For our purposes, these maps basically have zero level design. They are just big boxy courtyards filled with random objects and NPC. Courtyards. I think I understand what it means, but I just want to check.
Courtyard.
Courtyard. An open space that is partly or completely surrounded by building and is usually part of a castle, large house, etc. Courtyard, okay. Filled with random objects and NPCs. These simple playground style debug levels are vital for testing game mechanics, physics and general feel for the game. This is how you prototype a game. Well, yes, it's interesting case because prototype of some game is actually prototype of some particular level. So yes. For more on building test maps for internal use, see metrics. I will see it later. Experience goals. An experience goal is some kind of idea, feeling, or activity that you want the player to understand or undergo while playing. To conceptualize goals, try starting with the phrase, "In this level, the player should learn, feel, do." For example, in this level, the player should learn how to use the double jump ability, experience as tutorial. Okay, in this level, the player should feel vulnerable, then reach the safe house and feel relief, experience as emotion. Very cool, very cool. You look, they really, this one of possible approach to game design through the experience. Yeah, it's how I tried to make this video about God of War. I feel the from all game in general the very strong emotion, so very strong experience. Yeah, and that's why I tried to find a way how this experience has been made. And for example, we can see here, yeah, it's really a way to develop your game through experience. Yeah, you should keep it in mind when you start a new project. In this level, the player should dodge deadly traps and unlock a shortcut at the end. Experience as activity. Yeah, it's like an experience of discoverer. In this level, the player should feel like they are escaping a medieval prison. Well, okay, it's as fantasy. It's interesting. Advice for setting goals. Be specific. Experience goals don't have to be complicated or profound, but a clear and specific experience goals helps you decide what to build and what is unnecessary. Okay, yeah. It's not about, when you can actually you experience goals from this paragraph, as I understood. Yeah, it's they shouldn't be complicated, and it's not kind of you not evaluate them after you form them, but you just you start making a game, yeah, and you just check your ideas, yeah, you compare it with some experience goal, and you decide and you decide, is your idea is your idea consist to this experience. And if it is, you leave it. If not, you just throw out. But in the same time, you don't try generate ideas through this experience goals. Yeah, you just check them through these goals. Yeah. For example, the player should have fun is a value. I never met this word before. Vague. Not clear in a person's mind. Not having or given enough information or details about something. Okay, for example, the player should have fun is a vague goal that can drive design decisions. What type of fun? A light and casual type of fun, or deep engaging type of fun? Engaging. Sorry. It just engaging, interesting or pleasant in a way that attracts your attention. Okay. Or if the goal is to make a player feel fear, that what type of fear? There is body horror, existential horror, fear of failure. Sorry. I feel like I make a lot of mistakes now. Or if the goal is to make the player feel fear, then what type of fear? There is body horror, existential horror, fear of failure, fear of rejection, midlife crisis, etc. Think from the player's perspective. Avoid overly abstract experience goals and try to think of it from the player perspective. Ideally, how would the player describe their feeling of understanding while playing the level? For example, the player should enjoy non-linearity, focuses on an abstract structural aspect that most would not grasp, not even consider. Okay, I know what grasp is, because I know the tiger, nor even consider. You know what? I think I will go and make some tea. Yeah. I forgot to yeah, I forgot about some video for background. Okay, but yeah, nobody seen that. Okay. Okay, yeah, this advice about sync from the player's perspective, it's kind of cool. For example, the player should enjoy non-linearity, focuses on an abstract structural aspect that most would not grasp, not even consider. Okay, now I got it. It is not a useful experience goal. What do you actually mean by enjoyment or non-linearity? Yeah, imagine interviewing the player after a playtest. What do you hope they said about your level? You would feel insulted if they said, "Whoa, that was really non-linear." Yeah, okay, it's yeah, kind of. It's interesting. Yeah, you should pretend some player's perspective, yeah, and make some phrases from a player, and after evaluate it or they'll develop on their base, you know, something much something more, you know, consistable for for instructions for your level. Yeah, insulted. I know what it means, but I am not sure about pronunciation. Insult. Okay. Insult. Define multiple goals. Levels rarely have just one experience goal. Even something straightforward like a tutorial levels benefit from additional experience goals about setting up some storytelling, fantasy or mood. It might be less important than teaching the player how to play the game, but it still helps to guide design decisions. For example, the player should fight 5 enemies at once is a combat-oriented mechanical goal for a level, but so much is still undefined here. Is 5 supposed to feel easy or difficult? Where is this level set? Will we need a bigger room to support this higher enemy count? Let's add additional experience design goals. The player should feel overwhelmed. Now I stop understanding. Sorry. Overwhelm. To have such a strong emotional effect on somebody that it is difficult for them to resist or know how to react. Okay, let's add additional experience design goals. The player should feel overwhelmed, but then discover a power up, and the player should feel like they're defending their campsite from zombies. We now bring in themes of resourcefulness, defense, survival, and home. The concept of a campsite suggests a medium-sized outdoor area, and now we can research more specific types of campsites, military, hiker, winter, to make our plan more specific. Okay, yeah, it's kind of, it's like, you know, experience could be not only about some emotions. Yeah, it could be actually about experience. Yeah, you should learn your player how to play in your game, and yeah. and maybe your goal it's just give them some particular situation, yeah, or some particular house situation where where he can, you know, use particular mechanic. Or maybe, yeah, it's for example defense campsite. Yeah, why not? Why not? Actually, I never know campsites. Campsites. Yeah, I think camp. It's right. Yeah, campsites. So yeah. Pillars. The most important experience goals across your entire project are pillars. The most vital ideas that structurally support and justify your entire design. Okay, justify. It's kind of cool word. I should use it more often. I recently realized that it's not only about, you know, justice as you know, in law. Yeah, it could be justice just as well, in this point, yeah, structurally support and justify your entire design. I mean, like, be a base for something, yeah, or be explanation for something, or not explanation, but well, justify, just the right word. It's I really don't know how to say, you know, exactly synonym in this case for justify. It's kind of in Russian it's оправдывать. Yeah. And you can do it in the you can do it in the court, but also, yeah, it just could be you know, оправдание к существованию чему-то. It's justified to existing of something, yeah. Or for this example, justify your entire design. Design pillars help teams maintain a cohesive vision for the project and resist feature creep or work tasks that don't actually support your main goals. Feature creep. I think I got it. Okay. Pillars are a design planning tool to help you conceptualize short-term experience goals for each level or area. Each of your levels, smaller experience goals and small gameplay beats should contribute to your pillars somehow, and that culminates in the grander arc of your entire game's experience. Okay, I hope the first is gonna be some kind of example. To help, I suppose I got the idea, but yeah. The help internalize. I think it's kind of. In English, it's gonna be internalize with S, isn't it?
Internalize.
Yeah, British English, internalize.
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 Internalize. To help and what it means, actually. To make a feeling, an attitude, or a belief part of the way you think and behave. Minority groups tend to internalize the values of the dominant society. To make a feeling, an attitude, or a belief part of the way you think and behave. And externalize, to show what you are thinking and feeling by what you say or do. Okay, externalize and internalize. to make a feeling, an attitude, or a belief part of the way you think and behave. I understand, you know, the start of this word inter and exter. Inter and exter, but internalize. It's kinda to help internalize these big design goals. It's kind of the not approach, but appreciate. No, it's when we take new ideas or in this point, yeah, to help internalize these big design goals. Title each pillar with a pithy phrase or word. For example, the God of War 2018 Eternal Design pillars at Sony Santa Monica were combat, father, son, and exploration. See below. Combat: new mythical creatures, new mythical weapons, new mid-range and close, high optical mockup, fidelity, integrated companion. Okay. Father son, humanized Kratos, father teaches son, son teaches father. Son helps not hinder the player. Actually, in God of War, I suppose the son is not so much taught the father. Yeah, it's much more about, you know, in opposite direction. Yeah, I hear that in the last God of War it was something like that, but yeah. Some will be believable. Symbiotic relationship. Okay. Exploration, discovery, resource gathering, hunt and make, father and son bonding, cerebral engagement. Cerebral. What means cerebral? Relating to the okay.
Cerebral.
Cerebral. It's about puzzles. Okay. Because this was a big budget AAA game, their experience goals also involved production value targets like high optical motion capture fidelity. You might think this this character animation goal has little to do with level design, but imagine a level that makes the mock-up character animations look bad. Who has to change their work now? The level designer or the animator? Okay, it's kind of... It's a good idea to make pillars, then, you know, I never... I really never, you know, used them. But I think I should. It's a good form how to describe which experience you want to deliver to the player. So yes, I think it's a good tip. I will use it. You might think, okay, because in this way, pillars help us define what is important about our project, and thus make more consistent and coherent decisions during development. Example: Mask of the Rose. Mask of the Rose is a 2D visual novel, choice-based narrative game by Failbetter Games. Interesting naming. While it's not a shooter with 3D levels, it has some similar pre-production needs. Okay, for example, It failed better when we move from pre to full production. The game must have a fairly tightly defined scope. Pipelines for producing different types of work must be established, and major questions about the nature of the game answered. What kind of questions? Well, on most of the roles, they included things like what engine and middleware will we use to make the game? What does the build pipeline look like, and is it automated? Build pipeline look like. Okay. What gameplay systems will be in the game? Have we adequately prototyped this? How many characters will appear in the game? What is the art pipeline for producing a character? How can the player customize the protagonist? Well, yeah, okay. It's just again, it's just a good examples of pillars. I mean, not even for pillars. It's more about, you know, how to develop them. Develop them. Yeah. Example: Dishonored 2 Clockwork Mansion. Mention, I think, but I want to check it and actually check what it means. I'm not sure. A large, impressive house. Okay.
Mansion.
Mansion. Mansion. Okay. Dishonored is a AAA first-person stealth action RPG series about exploring complex places. In Dishonored 2, there's a Clockwork Mansion level mansion. Sorry.
Mansion.
Mansion. Okay. Mansion. There's a Clockwork Mansion level where the layout dynamically changes. Arcane Studios designer Dana Nightingale built a proof on concept pre-production prototype. Oh, Twitter thread. It's a good. I follow her because, well, because if it's a Arcane Studios designer, it's interesting. Okay, I created this proof of concept early in 2013. Yes, long before the map was greenlight to be included in the game. Basically, to say yes, this could be amazing, and yes, I should work on it. It did was, but it would still be over a year before the map was officially okayed. But sure, I could make a bunch of blocks animate however I wanted. What is possible using real level geometry? That's why I made this prototype. A bit less wild, yes, but still clearly doable. That prototype introduced the idea of rooms that were moved around like cargo containers and slotted into place, making the map's layout totally dynamic, but without transforming rooms. I'm glad we didn't go in that direction. After nearly a year working on other prototypes, it was time to revisit the Clockwork Mansion and finally get it validated. I made a new version with fewer twisty rooms and more emphasis on the behind the scenes areas. Emphasis. Emphasis. Special importance that it's given to something. Since the elections, there has been a great emphasis on education. To put emphasis on something. on the behind the scenes areas. Oh, okay. To give you a sense of time scales here, this level spent 7 months in pre-production, then entered final layout blackout about 18 months later. Well, yeah, it's interesting. Let's maybe even... Oh, looks cool. So interesting. Okay. To review, yeah. Mechanics are the repeated systems and interactions of a game. Core mechanics are the most frequent, while secondary mechanics add occasional variety and finesse for more experienced players. Experience goals are the player facing design goals for your levels. Pillars are the main design goals for your entire game. What do you want the player to learn, feel, or understand? How much planning do you need? It depends. Small casual projects will be ok with small or non-existent plans. Big long-term projects may require a huge internal wiki. Yes, I worked some with not in game projects, but only in IT, and yeah, there's gonna be big and huge wikis exist. Yeah. Pre-production planning helps developers coordinate and trust each other. If you are prototyping new mechanics or game design elements, then block out a test map with a big playground style space. Plans help you make things, but plans always change. Even after pre-production, while working in the middle of the project, you will almost always adjust your plans and improvise a redesign. That's ok. That's okay. Improvise. Again, I think I got it, but improvise to make or do something using whatever is available, usually because you do not have what you really need.
Improvise.
You will almost always adjust your plans and improvise. Okay, sorry.
Adjust.
Adjust. To change something slightly to make it more suitable for a new set. Как подогнать. Okay. Now what? Pre-production is more style. Research is vital for projects focusing on story or realism. Single-player projects require special attention to pacing. Projects often start too big and must be scoped down. Big narrative projects benefit from world building, or you might move to okay. We will not go to layout. Actually, he's the kind of they skip the combat. I think because the combat is something that they add after the major book, because it's not optional, and they they meant about this too much in the past chapters. Go to pacing. Is it big? It's huge. Okay. Yes, it's kind of huge. But I think I have to read it. I mean, how long this stream is going on? Hour 15. Hour 15, okay. Maybe it's good end for today. I have something to do, and after the stream, and already almost 10. Yeah, I think it's good finish actually. We'll continue later. I hope I will do it more often. It's not so hard stream, and it's good training to read. It's good training to pronounce, for speaking. I hope at least I know I know new words, and it's very helpful. So yeah, thank you if someone will watch it. Subscribe and put your like on this video. I have also a major channel. There is really complex videos, 2 of them, but with a bad English. Yes, but in further there's gonna be a much better videos. Yeah, so that's all. Bye bye.